What's up, y'all? This first go round is going to be dedicated to growing up hip hop. I have been watching for a few seasons and I have wanted to have a discussion about it. So let's discuss it. We are in season 7 of Growing Up Hip Hop, and season 7 opens up with Egypt getting an ultrasound because she is pregnant for her husband, Sam. It is Sam, it is Egypt. It is another child, I'm not quite sure who the child is, with them. And they're seeing that Egypt is indeed pregnant and she's pregnant for Sam. WTF, y'all, because if you recall in last season, Sam was being brought up on charges. Sam runs the risk of being put behind bars for quite a few years. Sam promised Peppa and Treach that he would put Egypt in a position where she was able to live freely once he's behind bars. And Sam knows that Egypt is ride or die for him. That said, Sam made Peppa and Treach promise him that they would have Egypt live a life that wasn't surrounded or revolving around him. But that's what his mouth says. What his actions say now, as they have been saying, especially because this is a pregnancy after a miscarriage, is he has every intention of cementing his space in Egypt's life, because cementing that space cements his role in hip hop from his perspective, because Peppa and Treach are OGs in the game. I'm not quite sure how Peppa is so silly as to have let this happen, but I get where, your children are grown and you can't live their lives for them. I also get where we might have gotten to a place where Peppa and Treach both know that when you resist Egypt's desire to being with Sam, it's going to force her into being with Sam more. We also get into Angela and Cree's relationship. They want to show us that they actually have a friendship. I'm not really interested in this aspect of the show just yet. Maybe it will develop into something, but as of right now, it's just boring. Angela's in Atlanta. Not sure why Cree is in Atlanta. She does note that Angela doesn't cook for her, although I'm not quite sure why she believes Angela would cook for her. Weird vibes, but not my bag, not my problem. We get back to Egypt and Sam, and we see that they've purchased a property, and it looks to be in the desert. I mean, they are in Vegas. I'm not quite sure why they would purchase a property in Vegas, because although Pep is working in Vegas, that's not a lifetime vibe. That's a vibe for the job she's doing right now. But yes, they've purchased this home, and it looks to be bare bones. Yes, it belongs to them. Not quite sure how they've paid for it. I'm thinking that Peppa has helped. I'm thinking she's helped because she wants Egypt to be happy, and she wants Egypt to be in a space where she's comfortable. And it's probably cheaper to have them in a house in the middle of nowhere. Anywhere would have been better. It's probably better to have them there than it is to have them at a hotel. It's more cost effective. In any event, they have their home, and again, just weird vibes all around. But as Sam says, there are no 5G towers. And as Egypt wants us to believe, this is her. She's more of a country girl than a city girl. Okay, Egypt, sure you are. So y'all, Peppa come by and she lets them know that she's liking the new digs. And then she excitedly lets her daughter know, hey, you are coming out with me on tour for the New Kids on the Block tour. The mixtape tour is what Egypt calls it. And Sam makes sure to say, Egypt or both of us. It gets a little bit awkward because Sam is asking why he's not included, but he's trying to be a little shady about it as he lays the guilt on. And Egypt's like, why can't he come? This is the first sign of intelligence that I've seen from Peppa, because it seems to me that Peppa is finally saying, holy smoke, I cannot get my daughter away from this dude. But the best way to get my daughter away from this dude and prove to myself and maybe Egypt that he might not have her best interest is to see how he responds to me taking my daughter to fulfill her dreams. Also, I'm wondering how he believes he'd be able to be on a tour when I think he needs to be in place, right? I don't think that with the kind of charges he has against him, he can be going all around the globe. This is the New Kids on the Block tour. This is not for you, Sam. Stay your ass at home. Pep does make sure to be clear that this is about Egypt's album that they worked on together, but honestly, traditionally speaking, your producer gives you the album, you work the album. There's no real need for Sam to be out with them. So in comes JoJo as Reverend's son, and Tanise, his wife. I really like their little unit. I like that we've been able to see them grow because they're a young married couple. They have 2 children, and Lil JoJo, or JoJo the 3rd or 4th, I'm not quite sure where he lands. They're planning a birthday party for him. It's his first birthday party, and it's becoming very clear that Tanise and her dad have static. Not only is it clear that they have some kind of static, it's also clear that JoJo, the 2nd or 3rd, I'm not sure, he don't really mess with her daddy like that. So there is tension. Tanise has made it clear that her father has yet to see her son. JoJo wonders, or maybe I've heard people wondering if the father's feeling about her son is rooted in the fact that he was named after his father instead of after his grandfather on the mother's side. But, it's interesting. We'll get further into that. We followed this up with Sam meeting with, I believe, Casey's son and Eric, Eazy-E's son. He's meeting them down to a dispensary. I think it's really dope that we meet Evelyn, the bud tender. If we remember past seasons, Eric is into dispensaries now himself, and I think it's taking off and doing really well for him. He's there to meet the buyer so that he can have a discussion about putting items in their store. And she is the one. She says she's the one. So I think that's dope. Sam comes in and he lets them know that he is about to be a dad again, because I believe this will be Sam's 3rd child. Eric, who at times shows up as a voice of reason, really lets Sam know that he's walked this path in the past, and it's not easy to be a dad behind bars. We also learned that Treach has called for Sam. He wants to meet with Sam. I'm sure that he is interested in finding out what the heck is going on, because in his last discussion with Sam, he was like, yo, Egypt will follow you off a bridge. So make sure that when she's following you, that you leading her in the right direction. Treach comes across as someone who's not really to be played with. But if I'm honest, I'm wondering how he's allowed this to get so far, because the reality is the Treach that shows up to us in hip hop should have never allowed his daughter to get in this deep with what appears to be an opportunist. But we'll see where this goes, right? We'll see where this goes. So we flash back to Tanise, and it's the day of baby JoJo's birthday. She doesn't know if her dad is showing up. Her mom shows up. She lets us know that they are not together, but they have a good relationship. And she lets her mom know that her dad is really funny style as it relates to baby JoJo, to the point whereby he calls the house and only asks for his granddaughter. And he specifically says, I want to speak to my grandchild. She also indicates that he has mentioned that JoJo is not his grandson, which is weird, because it's not as if a child that comes from your daughter would not be your grandchild. So it's a weird flex for him, and I'm not quite sure where this is headed, but okay. They flash us back to Angela and Cree, and I still don't care about their friendship. They have one. That's good. I like that for them. I'm really fond of Angela, not so much so of Cree, but whatever. I'm cool on them. Like, okay, weird flex, don't care. Tanice's dad is on the really weird flex. I have seen this kind of energy with men before, where they know that there's a big issue at hand and they are running away from the difficult discussion. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that he believes that Tanice trying to have the discussion, her mom trying to have the discussion, is them doing what they always do and causing drama. No, if you don't discuss something, then it festers and becomes bigger and it becomes more disgusting. Another thing is, sir, she has not seen you since her child was born and we're at his first birthday. She has to try to have the discussion now because she doesn't know when she'll have another opportunity to have the discussion. It's all really weird. I don't like that for Tanice, nor JoJo, or the family at large. Her dad also mentions the fact that JoJo did not speak to him. JoJo Sr., Daddy JoJo, didn't speak to him when he came in. Sir, again, that's that weird flex that parents get into where they're trying to assert their authority, but they haven't done anything to earn the respect that they're demanding. It's all very weird to me. Don't like it again. This is a fruitless engagement between Tanice and her dad. Very fruitless. I'm not quite sure that I even like it. I like them getting real. I like them showing us Tanice because she has a story. JoJo has a story and it's bigger than him just being in the studio or getting angry on his sister's behalf. But it's also odd. It's just odd. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So we are to the point where Sam goes to meet Treach down to the jewelry shop. Now, when Sam was talking to Lil Easy, he thought he might be getting a gift or he thought he might be getting lifted off his feet. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But instead, Treach is trying to have a conversation with him. Treach essentially tells him, and I'm going to give you a synthesis, yo, you and I had a discussion about what life should look like for Egypt from now until we figure out what's going on with your trial. You did not do any of the things that I suggested for you. Now, my daughter, who loves you, is pregnant. I never mind your business. I usually play the back. However, my daughter is bringing life into this world. And what is your plan for my daughter and this new child? Also of note, I know you have had to live with her mother in the past. That ain't never going to happen again. You ain't living with Peppa again, and you ain't living with me again. At this stage, Egypt and her baby will be fine, but you, my brother, will not be fine. I have given you jewels. You have not listened to anything I have to say, and right now I'm going to need you to tell me what's good. He also says to Sam, by the way, Egypt needs advice from one of her peers who have gone through what she's going through. Basically, he's telling Sam, put all your BS with TT to the side because Egypt needs TT and you need to facilitate Egypt and CT sitting down in a way that TT can step back in the role that she's always had and help my daughter get her head on straight. Now, Sam is being sunned. You can tell that he doesn't like it, but you also could tell that he know not to play too much with Treach. It's not just Treach, it's Treach and his guys, and they're on Treach's turf. He asks him, what's the plan? Sam is like, well, I have plans for fighting. Does that pay? No, it doesn't. And I'm not going to only do business with music. Yeah, because dreams don't really pay the bills, do they? He let Sam know what it was. Sam listened to him, and Sam was humble. But you can tell by the way Sam took his microphone off, Sam was pissed. Talking about Treach is my father-in-law until I'm not married, and that ain't never going to happen. It might happen, but not if you still have that vice grip on Egypt. Let's be clear. Peppa and Treach have already spoken. Peppa is taking Egypt on this tour They are slowly going to be trying to untangle whatever hold it is that Sam has on their daughter, because the stakes got higher. There's another child on the way. Interesting first episode. Didn't care about Cree. Easy tried to show up, but you know Easy be getting messy. Treach, all of a sudden he ain't bumped his head. I'm not quite sure why he didn't see this was the inevitable, but whatever. Treach and Pepper seem to be on the same page now. Watch your back, Sam. It's not looking good for your homie.